Welcome to another daily cinephile vlog in the movie room again. And, I was trying to think of something, like a topic today. Um, One that usually gets on my mind sometimes, and it has to do with movies that, like movies that you wish you would have seen in theaters. Um, Movies that you probably could have seen in theaters that you didn't get a chance to. There's also like cases of movies where it'd be cool to see them in theaters, but you've just never really gotten the opportunity. There's definitely movies that were made before I was born that, I've been able to see in theaters now in re-releases. Jaws, I was able to see this on the big screen. It was definitely worth it. Close Encounters as well. I did get to see that on a giant screen, actually. Ultra screen. Usually not a fan of the ultra screen that they have in Duluth, but it actually was very nice. It was a nicely put together show. The sound was pretty good. And as I look through here, Jurassic Park's another one. Didn't grow up with it because I wasn't born even when the movie came out, but I also didn't grow up with the series. So it was nice that many, many years later I was able to see the movie on the big screen. But nowadays, there's like directors and certain films that, I still make a point to see. I try to throw myself out there, and there's been some experiences that I'm super happy to have seen on the big screen. Like Mandy is one where crazy movie, and a lot of people talk about it now, but I don't know if anybody. It didn't get like a wide release, so there wasn't a lot of chances to really see it on the big screen. So I can see. Yeah, it's too bad that a lot of people who are a fan of that weren't able to see it on the big screen. Like Mad Max Fury Road. So happy I was able to see it on the big screen. I can't remember. I feel like I saw it more than once even in theaters. And there's like other movies I wish I could see on the big screen. And I'm actually thinking right now of Back to the Future. Now, I've seen the second one on the big screen when it was like the 30 years in 2015, Back to the Future Day anyway. Anyway, so they did a re-release of the second film, but not the first one. Which I guess makes sense. It was mostly about the second film, but man, I would still love to see that first movie on the big screen. And there's been some franchises where I'm super happy to have been there from the beginning, because I was looking at Spider-Man from the over here. These were films that I was able to see all of these on the big screen, usually like the weekend or at least within the week that the films came out. Saw this one 3 times in theaters. So, Amazing Spider-Man 2's upstairs right now, but I did see that in theaters as well. The new Spider-Man films, and even Into the Spider-Verse, which a lot of people talk about this now. And, the movie, it made money. It made a lot of money. But it didn't make nearly as much money as these live-action Spider-Man. And now this one seems to get talked about more than all of them. And it makes me kind of wonder, like, how many of those people weren't able to see it on the big screen, because that's really too bad. I remember when we saw it in theaters, there wasn't a huge crowd. That was the first time I'd ever gone to, like, the opening night of a Spider-Man movie where there wasn't a big crowd, and it was a disappointment. I'm glad the movie still made money. I'm glad that they're making a sequel. I'm glad that it's gotten a huge cult. I guess not even cult following, like it's just a huge following. It's kind of hard to even call it a cult following, because it is such a broad category of people now who love that film. But I'm sure a lot of people weren't able to see it on the big screen, and I hope you get the opportunity to do this someday. As I sit here, I also see Superman. I really hope I get to see the 1978 Superman on the big screen someday. I was hoping they would do it in 2018 when it was going to be the, I believe that would have been the 40th anniversary of the film. But unfortunately, they didn't do it. So I wasn't able to see that. I never saw the original Avengers film on the big screen. In fact, I didn't see any MCU film on the big screen until Captain America Winter Soldier. Since then, I've seen them all on the big screen. But those first few, I didn't. Shockingly enough, I mean, I saw Iron Man the year it came out. I saw it on DVD, along with some of those other sequels. For whatever reason, I never saw the Avengers on the big screen. I saw that year The Dark Knight Rises, The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know why I was not thinking about seeing the Avengers on the big screen. To this day, I don't really know where my mindset was as far as the Avengers go that year. But yeah, didn't see it on the big screen, and I'm sure I'll get a chance someday. But man, that sucked. It also sucked that I didn't get to see the Toy Story films on the big screen. Just the third and fourth one, but these first two, they did a re-release of them in 2009, I think, actually, a 3D re-release. But I didn't get a chance to check them out, so those are some other films I'd like to see on the big screen someday, even though a majority of the Pixar films I have seen on the big screen. Trying to think of some other really big ones, because I can keep pointing out older films, but, it's like the modern films that I kind of have no excuse to have not seen on the big screen. That King Kong film from 2005, which I've still never seen. I know it's sitting on that shelf. For some reason, I haven't gotten to watching it, but I do wish I would have seen it in theaters when it came out. It came out in 2005. I think I don't know. It might have been a little too scary for me because I wasn't very good at handling even the slightest of scary things. But I think it would have made for a good experience for me to see it. Those early Star Wars films, I did see Revenge of the Sith on the big screen, but Attack of the Clones, even though it came out in 2002, so it would have been like 6 or 7 at the time. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to see those first two unless I had the cognitive ability to tell my parents, please bring me to these movies, even though I don't know anything about Star Wars. I got into Star Wars enough by the time this film came out. God, I'm even kind of forgetting what the whole story is as to why. I just know that this film was getting talked about a lot, like a year before it was released, and there were kids in my class who were like watching all the other films, and especially the toys, which I was never big into the toys, but somehow it kind of grew from there, and then eventually I learned about the series, and I had to kind of seek them out myself because they weren't something that my parents were introducing to me. So luckily I had friends who were interested in it, and it got me interested. I did get to see the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie on the big screen. It was one of the coolest experiences ever. One of my favorite movie-going experiences still. We went with a bunch of friends. It was 2007. We were like 6th grade, but I still remember seeing the film to this day. I still really like this movie a lot, too. The first 3, I think, are actually pretty solid. Even though this one gets really long and clunky. I don't know. I think it's just so epic in scale. And so anyway, I did get to see that on the big screen, but I didn't get to see the first 2. And honestly, of all those films, I still would like to see the third one again on the big screen if I ever get the opportunity. Hell, I would maybe even rent out a theater just to watch the third one again on the big screen, because it really is like a big screen kind of film. A big, dumb, awesome film. Yeah, this is all very off the cuff. There's it's kind of hard to just point out because most of the movies that have come out in like the last 10 years, if I wanted to see them on the big screen, I saw them on the big screen. I know I didn't see Zombieland on the big screen when it originally came out. Transformers, the first one, I think that would have been kind of cool to see on the big screen. That's another kind of just big dumb movie. I think would have been kind of a worthwhile, I think it would have been worthwhile to see it. I remember seeing Freaky Friday with my entire family, so we have seen that on the big screen. I don't know if it was necessary to see on the big screen, but I have, in fact, seen it on the big screen. I would have loved to have seen Tropic Thunder in theaters when it originally came out. And while we're at it, another 2008 comedy, where's it at? Pineapple Express. This would have been another I would love to still see this on the big screen if I got the opportunity. And, I know I just saw another one down here while I was... Oh, yeah, Zodiac. Which I've said this before, but I've seen this movie twice, both times on an airplane. Yeah, I still have never popped in this Blu-ray. I don't even know if I've seen the director's cut, but this would be a cool one to see on the big screen.